April 1st is the day that we celebrate tomfoolery, and it is the anniversary of the birth of the composer Sergei Rachmaninoff, about whom there is a tricky part in the movie adaptation of Roald Dahl's book, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Russian-born Rachmaninoff was not interested in the way that the system wanted him to learn, so he learned on his own in St. Petersburg. He grew to be a tall, imposing man, and Igor Stravinsky called him a 6.5-foot skull. He escaped from Russia just before the revolution and spent most of the rest of his life in the United States. He fell into a slump with his musical compositions, and he felt as though he had suffered a stroke, losing the use of his head and hands. He was able to overcome his nervous breakdown by visiting a psychiatrist, who cured him by repeating the following words to him each time they met. "You will write your concerto. You will work with great facility. The concerto will be of excellent quality. Sometimes we just need to hear it from the voice of authority that everything will be okay. Sometimes we can be that voice of authority for others. For example, you could reach out to a child today and say, everything is going to be okay, but now back to Rachmaninoff." I believe that it was sort of an April Fool's Rachmaninoff-style prank that was in Willy Wonka. The musical lock was claimed to be by Rachmaninoff, when in fact it was not. It was by Freemason Wolfgang Mozart. April 1st is a day for good-natured pranks, hoaxes, and general silliness, not cruel ones, but fun ones. The earliest known recorded association between April 1st and foolishness is in Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. It was way more than 600 years ago in 1392, in the Nun's Priest's Tale, where there is a line, "Since March began 30 days and 2," which would have been on April 1st. The story features Chanticleer, a vain rooster, being tricked by a fox, and some believe that's how the date became associated with harmless trickery, though there are other stories about the origin. Many cultures have light-hearted celebrations around this time of year, and, in the northern hemisphere, it could be related to the vernal equinox. You know, one just feels like getting out and doing something, after being cooped up all winter. What tomfoolery will we see in a few weeks to months as we all start getting back out? Now is the time to start planning. One explanation for the April Fool's holiday seemed plausible, until it was revealed as a hoax itself. Joseph Boskin, a professor of history at Boston University, said the practice dated back to the reign of Emperor Constantine, who was challenged by his jesters that a fool could run the empire, as well as he did. Constantine appointed Kubel the jester to be the king for a day, and one of Kubel's acts was to decree an annual day of merriment. The Associated Press ran with the story, and didn't realize that Boskin had made the whole thing up, until a couple of weeks later. Yes, the press can be duped too. One April Fool's Day announcement that was not a hoax was in 2004, when Google announced its new email service. People couldn't be blamed for thinking it was a prank, given Google's propensity for April Fool's leg pullings, and the announced 1 GB of online storage for email was far larger than anything any other company had offered. By the way, it is 15 gigs of free Gmail storage today. Be encouraging. Now go fool someone in a light-hearted way.